all the way down into our backs. We're laying down nice and comfortably, allowing our muscles to release and to relax down into this beautiful earth, this flat plane. So let a few breaths flow for us. Deep inhales all the way into the belly. Nice, relaxed, slow exhales. Our focus today is largely on twists, and our intention is to be playful about it. Oftentimes, I know I have the personality where I tend to take things a little bit too seriously. If things start to go crazy in the world, I'm one of those that's sitting here like, it's my natural reaction to stress and to, or to react like, people, why are you doing this? And just to be amazed. So one of my thoughts for today, just be a little bit more playful. JP Sears, he's a fun spiritual comedian that's come out within the last couple of years with a bunch of YouTube videos. I was listening to him talk about his mission in life. And honestly, the biggest part of his mission is to be as playful as possible through life. And so that's why he can create such powerful videos, because he's playful about the spirituality that a lot of us take so seriously, trying to live a good life and trying to be the best person possible. And most of us take that so seriously, but he's so playful about it. And because of that, it's fun when you're able to make fun of yourself for even, how good you're trying to be. And so that's what I love about him. And so that's the inspiration for our class, to just have fun with all sorts of different kinds of twists that we're going to be taking in our body. And remember, you don't have to look perfect. You don't have to do anything exactly right. There's going to be moments where maybe all of us might just, do the best we can, and that's all we can ask for. And so with that playful attitude to get us started, let's begin. Let's bring the knees into the chest. And just take a few nice movements left and right with the knees. We're starting to wake up the hips, some of those muscles in the low back. And then from here, begin to spread the arms out nice and wide to the left and to the right. We're going to bring the knees into the chest enough that we can bump the hips just naturally a little bit to the right, and then twist the knees over to the left. Pause there for a full cycle of breath in and out. When the knees come back up, bump the hips up so that you can rotate the hips to the left and then let them fall to the left. Take a full cycle of breath in and out. We'll repeat that a few more times to each side. So knees in, bump it over until you can twist to the left. Bump it in and twist over to the right. 2 more each side. Last one. Beautiful. Bring the knees back in, recenter the hips, and then plant the feet about as wide as the mat. Here we take a few windshield wipers to both directions, so just left and right, left and right. And the next time you're to the left, stay in that direction, either enjoying this spot or picking up the left ankle to rest on the right thigh. Okay, reset. Both knees over to the right. Perhaps right ankle comes up. Know that if that hurts the knees at all, don't take that extra step. It's just enough, if it's helpful, to bring it into just a slightly deeper stretch with gravity. Good. Uncross and do a few more sets. Windshield wipers left, windshield wipers right. Beautiful. As that starts to feel complete, bring the knees in toward the chest, and then let's roll like a ball 3 or 4 times. And when we ultimately make our way up, let's take a beautiful cobbler position. Relax the spine up and over for a few good breaths. As we start to rise back up from here, let's plant our right hand off to the right. Our left fingertips go behind the ear, and keeping both sitting bones on the earth, let's lean over to that right side. The elbow gets pulled backwards. This helps us to stretch through the pectoralis muscles for just a moment. Gaze up if you can. Elbows trying to go clear far back. And then start to drop this elbow all the way down to the right knee. Take a few rotations of that, lifting the elbow up, pull it back, and then drop the elbow down. Waking up more of the upper part of the back. Pulling back, here's 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. Release, rise up, left hand off to left side, right fingertips behind the ear, and start to lean just a little bit over to the left. As we try to gaze up, the elbow pulls back. For me, it's able to go just an inch or 2 beyond what my up and down point would be gazed at. Feel the shoulder opening, feel that chest expanding. And then start to peel the elbow all the way down to drop for the shin or for the knee. And a few cycles. 4. And down. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. Trying to sit up tall. See if you can sit up tall without hands. If you need to scoot the feet forward to add a little bit more stability through the hip area so that we can have that mobility, take that. From here, 90-degree arms off to each side and begin to twist. Just however far your muscles are naturally opening out to each side. I like to make sure that I don't always do an inhale on one side and then exhale on the other side, because that would make it so that my exhale side would be just a little bit deeper. So instead of doing the breath, inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Three more cycles of breath. Good. As you finish up the last one, tuck the feet in, come up and over. We're on hands and knees. We're taking a few motions for the spine, rounding the vertebrae up to the sky. And then belly down, gaze up. Take a few good cycles. It's okay if you're going faster or slower than me. Simply a chance to help the spine continue to warm up so that it's prepared for some of these beautiful twists that are coming up. Two more rounds. Beautiful. From there, either take kneeling plank, walking the hands forward, or lift the knees up for full plank, your choice. Rock your shoulders past the fingertips, squeeze the elbows into lower. When we're resting all the way down, we're going to take a few different variations of coming into twists. So our goal is to have 3 limbs on the ground, so arm, and foot as an example. And then the last limb is pulling our body as far as it possibly can into a twist with everything else super grounded. And so we're starting off with the right foot. So everything else is super heavy where it's at. Lift the right foot up. Twist the right foot over toward the left and just pull however far it will help to bring you into the twist that direction. Good, return the right foot down. Second foot right away, so left foot lifts. It swings over to the right, off the mat, and it pulls your spine. So that very low back is in a good twist. Good, hips are turned down. Now both legs stay heavy. To prep the arms, start with them both up overhead. That'll give us a little bit to anchor off of. And then from here, the left arm swings out to the side, and the left arm begins to lift up. It's going to swing as far behind you as it can. The rest of the body is trying to be heavy as if it's resisting coming, but it's okay if the hip lifts up a bit. Just feel the spine spiral open. Good. And return that left hand down. Now that one's in place right above your head. Right arm preps by swinging out to the right side. And then it lifts up to the sky and swings open behind you. Just feel the muscles receiving this twisting and spiraling action. Another good inhale. And exhale, the hand comes back down. Slide the hands right underneath our shoulders. Come up into the cobra pose of your choice. You're welcome to be in a nice baby this early in class, or you can come up a bit deeper into the full cobra. Wherever you're at, gaze over one shoulder. So the spine and the shoulder spiral just a bit. And gaze over the other shoulder. Beautiful. Send the hips back into a nice child's pose. Continuing to laterally move the spine, walk the hands off the left edge of the mat. Back onto the mat and off the right edge. Good. When you walk your hands back onto the mat, 2 more breaths, normal child pose. And then back up onto hands and knees. Just take a normal cat, a normal cow. Good. From here, working on the knees a little bit. We're taking this left knee and straightening it back behind you, straight leg, left leg behind us. From here, bring the left knee to the nose, and then kick the straight leg behind you and lift it high. Bring the knee to the nose and then twist the knee over to try to touch onto the right elbow. Straighten back and lift behind you. Now stack the hips a little bit more, almost like we're almost going toward kneeling half moon pose. And then this left knee toward the left tricep. And back behind, lift. Each of those 3 directions one more time, knee to nose. And lift. Knee under and over to the right. And then lift. Knee stack and comes to the tricep. Back and lift. Good. From here, cross this leg off the mat to the right and plant those toes to the right side. Push the hips to the left part of the mat and gaze over your right shoulder toward those toes. So this straight left leg is going all the way through the back, all the way through the side, and it's planting directly off to that left side of us. From here, the left hand twists up to the sky. Try to reach it all the way up, even past 180 degrees if you can. And then when this left hand drops back to the floor, open the right arm just off to the right side a little bit. And then try to thread the right shoulder all the way under and through, resting it down onto the ground if possible. Nice, just spiral twisting open of the body. Good. Unwind the shoulders and bring this right knee underneath the body. All of that second side, so the right leg extends directly back behind us. Bring the knee to the nose. Take it back and lift. Knee under and over to the left elbow. And then up and lift. Stack the hips, swing the knee to the right tricep. And back and lift. Once more each. Knee to the nose. And lift. Under and through to the left. And lift. Stack hips. Go all the way to the right. And lift. Good. Cross the foot all the way over to the left, dropping the toes down. Push the hips to the right as you gaze over the left shoulder toward the toes. Okay, from here the leg swings all the way through the low part of the mat, all the way to plant off to that right side. As soon as we're there, right hand reaches up to the sky. Feel the spine stacking, feel the shoulders pulling back. And then when we drop this hand down, the left arm preps by swinging open to the left, and then thread it under and through, trying to get the shoulder to rest all the way down. From here, as soon as I get the shoulder down, my gaze is able to naturally go up to the sky. So see if that's how your position is for your body today. Good. Press into the right hand to help us return. Drop this knee down. Take another cat. Another cow. And from here, let's explore downward facing dog. Find the fingers spreading wide, pressing down through every fingertip, every joint. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up nice and high, and find your legs pedaling out a little bit. From this spot, we're going to start reaching the right leg clear up to the sky. Bend the knee. And then this right knee is going to do 3 large circles to each direction. So try to trace as wide as the hip is able to go. 3. And 2. And 1. Reverse. 3. 2. 1. Good. Keep the knee bent, the toes try to swing a little bit behind your back, and if possible, try to drop your left elbow down. Your right arm is still straight, and you're spiraling open just a little bit behind you. Good. Lift that left elbow back up, straighten the right leg up to that 3-legged dog, and then try to step the right foot all the way forward in between the hands. From this position, leave the left hand down. The right arm is going to go back and forth between spiraling up, reaching to the sky, and then coming down to hug around this right thigh. The hand goes under and through. Spiral back open, and hug under and through. Repeating 3 more times. Last one. And drop the hand down, drop the knee down, and we're going to come up to a nice kneeling position. Hands pressed down onto the thigh. This gives us a little bit of space backing off just a little bit so that we can find the spaciousness right at this hip connection. And then from that length of the spine, start to sink the hips forward. Good. Hips relaxing into that deep stretch. Breath flowing steady and calm and deeply for us. And from here, setting up into the twist, trying to get into the prayer position, we're sliding our left elbow. As long as it gets past the knee, we're able to lift the left forearm up, bring the right hand to touch on top of the palm, and then press the whole spine into the spiral. If your elbow doesn't go that far, just keep the wrist in contact and then open the arms wide ways instead. So hips are still sinking just as far forward, spine is lengthening and then spiraling. Another great inhale, a beautiful exhale, and then as we unspiral ourselves, drop the hands down for a moment. This will help us tuck the toes, lift up the back knee, and then plant that back heel down. This sets our feet up to the 45-degree angles. We're coming straight into goddess pose. So sinking the weight down, just make sure knees are not going past toes. And from here, take a moment opening the arms out to each side and notice if the shoulders are tending to lift right now for you. See if you can roll them up, back, and drop them down. Feel how the shoulder blades can squeeze together behind you. Feel that breath's flowing through your body, steady and full. And continuing to be in this nice strengthening goddess pose, take our right elbow under the left into eagle's arms. We're wanting to be in the nice shoulder stretch, so bring the shoulders down away from the ears, and then lift the elbows up to be about in line with the shoulders. Keep your eyes open to help you be in a good balance here. It's easy to kind of lose yourself and rock a little bit too far forward or too far back. But keeping the eyes open, what we're going to do is trace 3 slow circles to each direction with the elbows. So elbows start to lift up to the sky and go clockwise first. Go slowly enough that you still have balance. Drop as low as your elbows can go. And gradually all the way up. Same direction, nice and slow, 2. And 3. Good, reverse it out, second side. 3. 2. 1. Open the arms back up. Pull the arms behind you, exposing the heart and the chest. Good work. Dropping the hands down, turn the toes forward. We're in a nice moment with both legs lengthening and straightening into that forward fold. Beautiful. So from here, walk your hands up to the top of the mat. Step back. You're welcome to simply drop down into child's pose, or you can take an additional flow here. Kneeling or not, lower down chaturanga. A nice cobra, maybe even gaze over each shoulder for just a moment. And ultimately, we all end up in a nice downward facing dog. So when you're ready from here, we take everything to that second side. So we're starting off with this left leg floating back behind us. Bend the knee. And then this knee traces 3 large circles to each direction as far as the knee can go. So going around 3, 2, 1, and reverse it. 3, 2, 1. Good, trying to stack the hips, the toes are behind us. If you're able to do it before, try to drop the right elbow down. Straighten through that left arm and feel that slight lean backwards. Good, lifting up to the elbow, straighten the leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. And step the foot in between the hands. Keeping the right hand down. With the second side, we float the left fingertips to reach up to the sky, coming into the twist. And then as the arm drops down, simply hug around that left thigh. The hand sweeping under and through. Reaching up to the sky. And thread under and through. Repeating 3. 2, 1. Beautiful. From here, drop the back knee down. For a brief moment, you can back out of that sinking forward so that we can bring our hands up onto the thighs. And from that position, we're pressing into the thigh, finding length through our spine, and then sinking forward. This lengthening of our spine is so key when we head into twists, because we think that we can, reach it further if we kind of compress everything together, but it feels better and there's so much more space if we're finding that length first. either hook the wrist and start to open into the twist, or slip all the way down to the right elbow, hands in prayer position, spiraling the spine open. Beautiful. As we start to unwind ourselves, drop the hands down. The back knee can lift. Spiral the legs open. Another moment with goddess pose coming up. This time, just keep our hands onto the thighs and feel your hips sinking back as you lean forward a little bit. I personally like to lock my arms straight for this one. And then as I sink my weight back, my shoulders do come up to the ears, but it's kind of the shape that I need to take in order for the sinking in the hips to be as absolute low as possible. So from here, spiral the right shoulder down, gaze up to the sky. And then spiral it to the other direction. And one more time with right shoulder going down. And one more time left. Great work. Straighten through the legs. Turn the toes forward. Clasp the hands behind the back. Take a moment dropping the hands down. Winding the heart into a back bend. And then from here, travel into the forward fold with the arms pulling into the shoulder stretch from behind. Release the clasp of the hands, dropping the hands down. Walk the hands up toward the top of your mat. And then step your back foot up to the top of the mat. Stand up in a nice forward fold from here. Both legs lengthening. Both arms dropping down or just resting on the legs. From here, circle the arms to the sides. Inhale, stretching back. Exhale the hands down to the heart. And if the feet are not together, bring the big toes to touch. The heels are okay to be separated by about an inch or so. So this nice long spine that we have. Inhale, the right arm floats up to the sky. The left hand is on the thigh. And then lean over to the left side. Pausing here, take 3 breaths. Rising up, switch out the arms, right hand on thigh, left hand spirals up to the sky. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, start to lean over to the right. Good. Rising back up, the hands are at the heart. Start to sit the hips back like we're about to sit into a chair. And from here, the twisting motion that we do goes like this. With any exhale, we connect one elbow. So I'm starting off with right elbow to left side. The other arm opens out to a long 45-degree angle behind you, trying to pull the shoulder back into the twist. Inhale from here, up, both hands in prayer position at the heart. Exhale, connect the left thigh and spiral open. Inhale. Slow exhale. Three more breaths each direction. 2 more sets. One more. Good. And from here, drop the hands down to the floor, nice forward fold, lengthening through those legs. Lifting the heels, sink down into a low toe squat. We're finding a nice balanced position here. Maybe hands can come up to the heart. Continue to squeeze the thighs together. And we take a moment to play with a revolved crow pose if that's within your practice. If not, just start to drop the hands down over to the left side. And you can play with just spiraling the spine open, lengthen and twist. If you're going to the crow, we set this right elbow up to the inside of the knee. I guess that's the outside of the knee. Plant the hand all the way down. The other hand is planting quite far, so if I'm facing forward with my feet, my hands are also facing forward as if my mat suddenly got shifted off to that left side. From here, I lift my hips up and shift my weight right over the center of my arms, bending the elbows like chaturanga. And then from here, you try to squeeze the toes in toward the glutes, trying to see if you can take off with that side crow. Maybe it happens today, maybe it's years down the road from here. Either way, just play with this little twist. If you're getting tired on the twist, we'll meet you in forward fold in just a moment. Good, so whenever you finish, straighten the legs, and you're welcome to roll the hands out or imagine you're flicking water off of your fingers. It's a nice kind movement for those wrists. Make sure your feet are still set up for that toe squat, toes together, heels separated just a bit. And then we start to sink low. Maybe finding the balance, hands at the heart. If you ever need to catch yourself for just a moment, that's totally natural and okay. Remember, the strength and the balance comes from the squeeze of the inner thighs together. Sometimes I squeeze so much my glutes lift off of the heels a little bit. Find the balance already in your mind, that playful aspect of this. And then when you're ready, you're either simply working on the twist, dropping the hands over to the right, or you're setting up for this second side, for the side crow. So the left elbow to that part of the knee, and then the right hand goes wider off to that right side. Pick your weight up, resting it evenly between the arms, and then shifting down like a chaturanga. You're trying to bring your head forward and through, tilting forward just a bit. Remember, be playful with it. This is just a fun little moment. And it's okay if today's not the day for this side. Remember, once again, whenever you're happy, you're complete, we'll all join up together in that nice forward fold, 2 straight legs. This one, make the feet about as wide as the hips, filling a little bit of extra space in the legs. Inhale, half lift, long straight spine. And exhale, forward fold, dropping the hands down. This left leg lunges all the way back. Sweep the arms forward and through, a nice high lunge shape. Hands circle together in front of the heart. And then we hook the left elbow into that prayer position twist. Unwind the twist, sweep the arms back up to the sky. And when the hands plant down to the ground, heel toe this right foot over to the left edge of the mat until you can drop down in just a simple pigeon pose. You choose your variation. I like sleeping pose with the elbows dropping down, widening the elbows, and then forehead resting onto hands. Coming up onto the hands, rock your weight onto this right hip. The left leg swings around, trying to plant the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. If that's not happening, inside is okay. It's just less of a twist for our body. So from here, I start to slide this right hand around, maybe coming up to the elbow crease, wrapping around that thigh. My spine lifts up nice and straight. And then exhale, I start to spiral my spine into the twist. As I release, I take a moment to counter, stretch, twisting to the other direction. And then unwinding the legs, lifting back up through downward facing dog. Left leg slides forward and through. Trying to keep the back heel lifted, sweep the arms up to the sky. Hands together in prayer position. Try to hook the right elbow to the outside of the thigh. Sweeping all the way back up. Drop the hands down and heel toe this the left foot all the way over to the right side, coming into that same variation of pigeon pose that you took on the first side. Planting the hands, rock onto the left hip. Swing this right foot all the way, trying to plant it to the outside of this left thigh. Setting up for the twist, this left hand swings around, trying to hug around the thigh as much as possible. Posture straightens up, and then we can spiral open. Counter stretch open the other way. Beautiful. One last little playful thing here. Let's just take a moment, one more chance for our hips to open before we go into this. Enjoying a few windshield wipers. The knees are going left and right 3 or 4 times. Okay, from here we bring our body weight up and over, setting ourselves back up for that toe squat. We've got just a few more chances to be with this. Again, if you can't do the full thing, take the same variation you were playing with before. Hands here, or even just be here for a moment and then straighten the legs for a moment. So this one, I'll give you one additional variation if the other two are not challenging enough. This variation, similar to what we played with before, is with the down dog, is dropping one of the elbows down. So if we're twisting off to the left side, the right elbow's hooked close to the knee, and then the left elbow is dropped all the way down to the ground. From that position, the two big things you need to do to find this are start to lift the hips high, and then your shoulders need to go closer to the fingertips. That's pushing the fingers into the ground, gives you that extra little bit of pressure so that you can have that control in order to maybe start to bring the toes in toward the glutes. So find a couple of fun moments just playing with this side. Maybe you stick it, or maybe you're just there in and out for a couple of seconds. Try it maybe one more moment. And then either go into the straight leg forward fold, or we're taking garland. The toes are together, but the knees separate. We start by reaching our arms forward, stretching the spine long, and maybe winding the arms through the insides of the shins, winding the head under and through. Great work. Hands come under and through. We're playing with that last side. Hands off this left one. Remember, any variation is okay, but if you're doing the funky version here, this last fun thing to play with, left elbow goes by the knee. Right elbow needs to drop all the way down to the ground. From there, lift your weight up, tilt your weight forward, and then perhaps you can start to find the toes squeezing in close to the glutes. So play with it a few times. Sometimes it takes a trial or two to be able to start to find the balance. And sometimes you're just kind of in the shape. That's all that happens on one of the sides. This is my weaker side for sure. We'll take 2 or 3, maybe 4 more breaths just to play, see what's happening today. Good. And ultimately, when you're finished, let's find the legs spiraling open, getting into this wide leg stretch. We're taking the left hand, trying to reach to the outside of the pinky toe or calf if you can't reach that. The other hand is behind us with tented fingers on the ground to try to help our spine spiral over toward that right shoulder. Now from the spiraling, see if you can continue to forward fold over that straight right leg. Both hands are going to walk their way through the center. Try to see if the fingers can go a little bit further. And then walking back up, second side. Right hand's trying to reach to outside of shin or pinky toe. Tented left fingers are planted off to the left. Start by spiraling. So the spine's off to this angle straight. And then we try to drop the right shoulder down, lift the left shoulder up. And just drop it all the way down over the left leg. Walk the hands all the way forward and through, back through the center, trying to spider crawl just a little bit further. Good, walking back up, the legs come together. Make sure there's enough space behind you to roll all the way down onto your back. Once you're there, plant the feet close to the glutes, hands are by the hips. Take a moment to enjoy a bridge pose, lifting the hips all the way up, maybe clasping hands under and through, lifting even higher. Feel that beautiful counter stretch for the whole spine. And as we release hands, lower hips all the way down to the ground. Arms and legs go up to the sky. And just roll through your fingers and your toes and your ankles and wrists. Maybe flicking water off of them. Whatever helps all those joints to feel really good, nice and loose. And from here, if there's any last little poses that your body needs, a last twist or a beautiful happy baby pose, take any of these last things, enjoying what it feels like through the spine. And keep on playing with it until you ultimately feel ready for your final Shavasana pose, your resting position. In which case you'll find that beautiful place on the ground. The breath can flow, feel our heart alive, and feel how the very cells of our body are almost a little bit more alive, a little bit more activated. It's like they finally got to play. Maybe we've been taking life so seriously the last few weeks that we haven't really had playtime. Maybe there's a little tiny smile on your mouth. Letting the body feel certain chemicals being released just by the act of smiling. Chemicals that make us actually happier, even though all we're doing is making the muscles do that shape. And here's where we begin to simply breathe and be in our Shavasana. Begin to deepen your inhales and exhales. Introducing little movements back to the fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. And eventually rolling over to a nice fetal position on one side. Letting this breath flow for us. Got several really good deep inhales and exhales. When you're ready, press all the way up to a comfortable seated position. Join the hands together in front of your heart. And we ask ourselves to contemplate for just a moment, what am I being too serious about with life? What is sucking the joy out of my days? Where can I be just a little bit more playful, even if that means sometimes I fall right on my face? As I take my dogs out on a walk, I notice that when they trip, when they fall on their face, they don't have any ego about it. They don't have that judgment where it's like, man, that was so embarrassing. Now I have to feel bad for a couple of hours. They don't have any of that. They just get back up with the next step and they're on their way continuing to walk. And so as an individual and also as humanity, if we trip and fall sometimes, how can we just get right back on our feet and progress our way forward without having so much judgment and so much harshness on ourselves all the time? And so with playfulness, with this fun attitude to lead us into this wonderful day, let's wrap up this time we got to share together with a sound of Om. Inhaling together now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.